come on to learn and grow. Welcome to the Village Talk Show. Come on to learn and grow. Welcome to the Village Talk Show. We discuss what people need to know, empowering them to learn and grow. We discuss what people need to know, empowering them to learn and grow. Give praises to Jehovah, from whom all blessing and knowledge will flow. Blessing and knowledge will flow. The Village Talk Show, dedicating to empowering the community to live a healthy, safe, and financially capable life, helping each one of us in realizing our dream at any age, any point, starting from today, day. Success. Come on to learn and grow. Welcome to the Village Talk Show. Come on to learn and grow. Welcome to the Village Talk Show. We discuss what people need to know, empowering them to learn and grow. We discuss what people need to know, empowering them to learn and grow. Success is not spoken, it is done. Success is done. Come on now. The Village Talk Show. Talk Show. The Village Talk Show.
Good evening. Good evening, our villagers. I'm so happy to actually be here with you this evening with my wonderful partner in crime, Andre Dolman, and we are sending love and shout out to our fearless leader, Roderick Rudy Daly.
Yeah, well, hello villagers, how we doing? Welcome to another week of the Village. Definitely, all love and praise to our fearless leader, Roderick. It's the first time I really call him fearless leader, right? But yes, big boss, the boss man. Shout out to him. Not feeling too well, so just definitely want to, have give prayers to him. And welcome to the Village, right? We're about finance, we're about safety, we're about success, right? Make sure that you are doing and not just speaking. I just put a twist on that motto there. But hey, we understand what it is. So welcome. How we doing?
We're doing great. Can't complain. Hey, our next partner will be coming on shortly once he gets adjusted.
I think he's ready. All right. Oh,
hey.
Wait. John got a light.
Hey, John, how are you?
Good evening to the co-host with the mostest, Dr. Brian, and to Andre, the Renaissance man, I call him.
Wait, what?
Yeah, he does everything. Absolutely, he's doing everything. So yeah. We're sending love and shout out to our wonderful leader in charge.
Jennifer, so why are you in the dark, man?
Well, he's actually in the light. Thank you, Jesus.
The first time there was a light there, though, Jennifer.
That's not true.
That's not true. Jennifer, kiss off, Jennifer.
Oh,
just get my Eldorado 25. That's all.
Oh, that's fire.
Greeting, Empress, and all of our listeners. Send love and shout out to our fearless leader, Roderick Daly. More than likely, he's listening to us, and if he feels up to it, if he feels a little better, he will be joining us. Hopefully soon. So what's going on?
What's going on?
Yo, Andre.
Yeah.
You bought a pair of those Trump sneakers yet, baby?
What? Trump sneakers?
You bought a pair of those Trump sneakers? According to a Fox commentator, Trump's going to get the black vote because, African Americans like sneakers.
Listen,
You can relate to us,
that's
but
insane. If it takes that
that's
little,
insane. It is.
that's insulting. And if it takes that little, that's very insulting. Like
Well, that's what they think of us.
exactly.
That's
And a
what
lot of
they think
people
of
still
us.
go
Yep.
there and go give the vote. A lot of people still go there and go give the vote. So it's just like, what's your value, right? What's your value, man?
And where did he go to do it? In the city of brotherly love, Philadelphia.
Oh man,
So that was something, you
that's
know.
crazy.
Hey,
That's
maybe
crazy.
you never know. People will go out and actually purchase.
Right. You know,
purchase.
I mean, to me, there's certain sneakers that just don't look good to me. Right. I'm gonna say them because I'm gonna get flame on here probably. Um, but I mean, I still see people go out there and buy them. There's a beauty in the eye of the beholder. So
No, the man is like it's like
A marketing genius. I give it to him. A marketing genius.
what, that his picture
A,
wasn't on it? Is that it?
a marketing genius. I'm just telling you. Come out with sneakers right now, and people are gonna pay
After he
what
was,
they say.
yeah. As
I
a
mean,
Yeah,
way,
and if you think about even a lot of companies too, really, like they do certain things and people jump on them. Like you got Apple. Apple can come out with something tomorrow, and the customer base in Apple be like, "Yo, we gotta get that. It's a new thing. Look too far. Gotta get that." Right?
mhm,
Um, you got that, and if you following their
branding.
strategy and branding, yeah, right. You got some places that people might not agree with the ideology of a leader or CEO or whoever it may be, but you have them put out products and no one could guess that the CEO was the person who was behind the product,
right,
right?
right, right, right,
Also,
right.
like it could be a nice product, a good product, and no one really would know. Still go purchase it, you know.
True.
So, I mean, due diligence. So it's important to do due diligence. So,
Hmm. True, 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 true.
but yeah, that's a no for me. I don't even gotta see the sneakers. It's a no for me, right? I'm a regular. I'm a regular, man. I'm a regular. So what else happening? What else happening going on in the news here?
I think it's interesting that the Arizona prosecutor won't agree to extradite the Soho hotel murderer to New York and suggests they have a lack of trust in the Manhattan DA. So is it about the individual who got murdered, or is it about politics? Good evening to all our listeners. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for being on and commenting. Good evening, Daniel. Good evening, Jennifer Empress. Thank you for joining us this evening. And
Mm.
Roderick, again, we are sending you love wherever you are.
So why is it that they don't trust the DA of Manhattan, Alvin Bragg? Why they don't trust him?
Well, here it is. She mentioned that he released the illegal migrants and that she won't send back a murderer, accused murderer, back to New York
And
because
this is in Georgia,
Arizona.
Arizona.
Arizona. So I
Mm.
think it's very interesting how we choose politics over justice. How
So
we decide. A lot of things been happening this week from it's like hit against hit, from, hey, if somebody committed a crime, you don't believe that they should be held to that crime? Do you think the stabbing weighs more than a murder? It's just I don't know. Taking shot at someone who's in the same line of work
mhm.
because you have a certain agenda is wrong.
So politics. It's always politics, man. Um, but I'm not. I don't know why. Why is he not trusted? Is that what he had said? That
No, that's what she mentioned.
or
This
she
is
said she
what
don't trust him?
the Arizona, prosecutor Arizona said they won't agree right now to extradite the man accused of murdering the woman in Soho in the hotel because they don't trust Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Braggs.
Was Alvin Bragg involved in something?
No. They just don't trust his decision. They don't believe they want him to face justice in Arizona before they come to New York.
Mm. So is it that, because I'm still I guess I'm trying to like know why they don't trust him. Is it did he get involved in, like, what was his decisions like
Well,
past?
here's the thing. This gentleman,
Mhm.
Mansour, is locked up in Arizona where police say he stabbed 2 women,
Mhm.
right? So the Manhattan DA want them to bring him back to New York to face charges for the Soho murder.
Right.
But the attorney, Rachel Mitchell wants him to stay in Arizona for now. She
Mhm.
made comments that, we're wanted, people will be safe. He'll be safe in Arizona than he would be in New York.
Hmm.
Exactly.
That's odd. Like, I mean, it's a distrust scandal thing, really. Um, so yeah, definitely want to look more onto that itself. I don't think I saw that. So she
Yes,
was.
it's very, very strange. So other attorneys and others in the industry mention what type of this doesn't make any sense. You're going to say, well, what happened in Manhattan a couple weeks ago, we shouldn't transfer him back over
Mhm.
there. That doesn't make sense. No, 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 no. Justice is justice. Somebody got murdered. You know,
Right.
justice should be served. Come on. But hey, politics over. What matters, right?
It's a shame that the way politics continues to run in that way is continue the same way. Um, that they want to is it what they want to what, convict him or give him the consequences in Arizona before he moved to New York.
Yeah.
Um, so in a sense, it's like, I mean, he's still getting the consequences, but I guess it because he did it in New York, they want him to
Well, he
serve.
killed somebody in New York.
Right. So
He
I'm
killed
saying,
somebody in Arizona. But
oh, this
she's
man going
saying
all over
that
the place.
the way that he makes decisions, she's not trusting his decisions.
Oh,
So that's not something you verbally say out loud
right.
and decide not to actually follow some
Mm,
stages. Some crimes are higher than others. It is a crime to stabbing people. Thank God they're alive, but you have a dead person.
right.
It's a murder. So I don't get it, but okay, I guess it's above my pay.
Right.
Um, I noticed the last couple of weeks, a couple of things happening in with laws and everything that's been taking place. For
Mm-hmm.
example, the IVF.
Wait,
IVF,
international. Wait, no. What's that?
IVS deals more with people who have difficulties um, conceiving and having children. Sometimes they want to freeze their eggs. Sometimes they want to, just wait or whatever. It is a process to support
Oh,
pregnancy.
in vitro fertilization.
Right.
Oh, I thought you said like IVF or something different, ISV or something like that. But anyways,
Lawsuit actually going out and a ruling that took place this week that if the egg is
first.
actually they considered any of the eggs, frozen eggs, as children, even though they are not here. So there was an accident where the individual actually dropped the eggs. So they're considering it more like, hey, you abused and you murdered the child for accident. And now the lawsuit is going on further.
Wait, so
Yeah,
the
the
person
handler,
break
yes.
the eggs and they
Yeah. So they're considering that as children, the eggs as children. So live children. So now that changed the whole game of everything.
hmm,
More people are reserved, not reserved, but the medical field now is like, should we do this? Because guess what? If there's an accident that happened, now we're going to be charged, so you damn if you do, you damn if you don't. So now people who want to have children, there's the blockage. Why are you laughing, Andre? That is not funny.
My bad, man.
It ties
this goes into so much with ethical practice. I'm thinking even like questions of what is abortion, what isn't. Those things don't come up. So now there's some policy making is about to happen there. But I laugh because, well, it's something that isn't, you don't often hear. Your camera is a bit blurry, John. You don't often hear or come across something in that sense, right? Because I mean, you got it. Sorry to use this. You got a chicken egg. You crack the egg. It's not a chicken. You know what I'm saying?
But they're considering if
so
anything happens to the egg, that's considered a child. You're abusing a child.
Let's hear. John, what do you think?
What are we talking about?
What do you think about that, John? Go ahead, John. Can you explain
the
again?
IVF.
In vitro fertilization.
Mm-hmm.
If you drop the egg, you kill that's a kill of a child or abusing the child.
What about it? If you what?
What do you think? If explain again, John.
So the IVF lawsuit that can continue. 3 Alabama. This is now from the South. A lot of things happening. 3 Alabama clinic pulls IVF after court rules embryos are children.
Right. I heard about that.
Yeah. So now that's going to have an effect on anyone actually trying to conceive. That's not, one rule in one place will affect all over. So starting in Alabama, guess what? It's going to move up this way.
True.
And it makes it more difficult for people who are having difficulties conceiving or waiting later on to have, it's, hey, here it is, the whole abortion thing. Here it is. Now, if you do want to conceive and if you do want to have children later on in life, places are not going to be so happy or so thrilled to touch it. They're like, we're not doing this no more. So that's a problem. Major problem. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, this is another instance where we can allow the Supreme Court to come into play. And I think that's what basically it is, to further define, to make abortion a crime. And it really just goes down to everyone's fundamental choice.
Mm-hmm.
And this is what they are impeding upon, people's fundamental choice.
Yeah.
Because I'm sitting on thinking how the conversation or debate around conception and abortion itself, right? And so it's like, if say a young woman gets pregnant and abortion is in the works, now that's gonna be like, well, you just kill the kid, right? It's just an egg. There's no conception, right? So now as we go to the future with technology advancing, and as you were saying, Joanne, people wanting to have children, but perhaps not being able to, and so now they freeze their eggs. So now you mess with that egg itself, and now they might not be able to produce no more eggs. Now you just messed up right there, and so in a sense, people can I guess sue or whatever it may be. But I initially, right, and I guess I'm still with the initial stance. You probably walk in and you drop the dish with the eggs. Then what? What then? By mistake. What then? I don't know. I can't say that's killing. That's killing the child. Yeah. Science. Science. Looking at science. No, that's not. That's not
I
taking.
think what's gonna be next, like Hillary Clinton mentioned, birth control. I think their next plan overall, they're going to aim towards birth control. I know that
In what sense?
yeah, they are trying to make certain birth controls illegal, but it's gonna be the same thing. Hey, you know what? It's gonna be illegal for you to take any form of birth control. So
Right.
having control over people's body choices and things like that is totally extreme when you're using the court as a way to say, hey, this is the way it should be. So
Mhm.
no longer do you have an independent, we're turning more like lack of democracy and lack of being able to have options.
Mm.
We're
Choices, basically.
yeah, we're becoming more control. We're going towards the side a little bit towards dictatorship on how many kids. Next they'll say, hey, you can only have a certain amount of children. Hey, you can't have this or you can't have that. So
Yeah.
it will be it's tackling and pushing towards that level.
Hmm.
It's like population control. But if you look back at how China end up doing that policy, because now they
Right.
were trying to control the population. It was just too many people, and when you have a lot of people, I mean, food shortages among other things occur. But the consequences of it, they're facing that now because now they don't even have enough people. They don't have enough. The birth rate is very low. Right? You
And
have
people are leaving China and coming here.
so that hurts. So it's like figuring out the happy no happy medium, not the right choice of word I want to use, but figuring out that medium itself, right? Like
Right.
how do we make sure that we don't control people's choices in a way that they don't feel like they have any choice, but at the same time be mindful of the consequences of having a whole lot of people and then not being able to provide enough resources to ensure that people are okay, right? We have,
Right.
you
Mhm.
know, those are things that have to be thought about.
Hmm.
um so like it
But it's the
consequences to
court
everything.
system that's being used now as a way to control things that's happening. Another situation that happened today, the young man in Texas that was told that he couldn't wear his hair a certain way with braids and locks and things. So they found it to be legal that schools can discriminate on the way that your hair is, which I give
Right.
a shout out to New York, New York City, and New York overall for looking at, hey, many times different organization and different companies would look at a female's hair and say, hey, we don't want them. If you have locks, if you have braids, if you have discrimination happen all the
Right.
time.
Hmm.
But now you have other places in the South, in the West, in the North, that's saying, hey, you know what? If you do have locks, it is okay for school to discriminate and use consequences against you. A court of law actually agreed with, that. So it is so dangerous at this point.
Wow.
This is Texas, right?
This is Texas, yes.
What do you expect?
Same thing I was
Greg
saying.
Abbott.
Yeah, but you know what? Who's on the bench? Like we always say, your local election is important
Yep.
to get involved
Hmm.
because you end up putting in office will determine the quality of your life.
True.
For real, man. I mean,
So these are, if Texas is saying, hey, it's okay for schools to do certain things, Florida is saying, hey, it's okay for us to ban a good amount of books. And
Mhm.
hey, you know what? They don't need to focus on Black history. They don't need to focus on certain things. What else will be controlled by law that would affect us? Instead of
Mhm.
going forward in 2024, 2025, we're going backwards. We're having less rights, less opportunities, especially wake up, people. This is Black History Month, but we have to actually look backwards in order to move forward.
Yeah.
So that is, yeah, pay attention to what, what's happening and all leading up to different elections that's going to take place. So keep your eyes open. Do participate in what's happening in your community and get involved. That makes a difference. Getting involved.
For sure.
So,
Certainly. All right. I'm going to take like a quick break. All right.
all right.
Want to get your personal income tax, business corporate tax, self-employment tax, quarterly tax, payroll tax, or sales tax filing done professionally?
Yeah.
Call U.S. Spirit LLC 718-676-0519 and take the worry out of your personal and business life. Tax compliance issues should be left to the pros. So when you want your business to grow, call the pros because a successful business matters. U.S. Spirit LLC also handles accounting, bookkeeping, business startups, consultation, real estate, and many more services. Call U.S. Spirit LLC 718-676-0519 and ask for Howard DaCosta, CEO, to book a 1-hour evaluation at no cost to you. Take remote control of all your needs and U.S. Spirit LLC will follow your lead. Want to work but don't have a social security number? Yes! Find out about getting a tax ID to pay your taxes. Call U.S. Spirit LLC or log on to www.usspirit.com. Team up for success.
Call Howard Housing Solution today for all your real estate needs. Sellers, we can get top dollar for your home, and our vast network of professionals can facilitate your move and help you purchase your dream home in another state. Buyers, we have a pulse on the market and can get you in a home quickly. Property owners, we can manage your property efficiently and allow you peace of mind. So why wait? Call Howard Housing Solutions today at 646-825-5560 for your sale, purchase, or property management needs. Conveniently located in East New York, Brooklyn. You can come to us at 577 New Lots Avenue, Brooklyn, New York, or we can visit in the comfort of your home. Call Howard's Housing Solutions today at 646-825-5560. Howard Housing Solutions. Real estate simplified.
Footprints Cafes now offers Caribbean flatbreads, available in 11 mouth-watering flavors, including favorites like jerk chicken, curry chicken, honey garlic chicken or shrimp, ackee and saltfish, garlic cheese, and more. Our flatbreads are satisfying and can be enjoyed by the entire family. So make it a flatbread night at Footprints and enjoy the fusion of flavors. These flatbreads are so good, you might just have to fight for that last piece. Good thing there's plenty more where that came from. Get yours today from any of our Footprints locations. Want to enjoy your flatbread at home? Then order on Uber Eats and get it delivered right to your door. We'll see you there.
All right. Welcome back.
All right.
So I see this thing regarding Adam canceling next round of New York City budget cuts. What's going on there with Adam, man?
Why? What's going on? Why do you say what's going on with him? He cancels the cuts. You know why he cancels the cuts? Do you know why?
No, that's why I asked.
Because it's the way he managed, and they have a surplus of close to $3 billion. So that's why he was able to spare people, spare those cuts. You know, people didn't see that in the beginning. He's cutting this, and he's got to reduce this. But he did that, so you know he'd be in position right now where they don't have to suffer those cuts, and that's with not even getting the money from the federal government.
$600. So he said call of a plan Wednesday to cut all city agency budgets by 5%, but also announced he's going to slash nearly $600 million in projected spending on housing and services for recently arrived migrants. And their planned first rollout by City Hall All agencies were stated to get 5% budget reductions in April of this year, on top of 2 previous rounds of 5% cuts in November and January, in order to offset costs associated with caring for the migrants.
Mhm.
All right, that's valid. Um,
What's nice is I heard about the increase. They're going to be increasing the crossing guards. They want to double 244. They want to hire now
mm,
because of the lift on, the hiring freeze. They want to hire 244 crossing guards. So, which is great. Instead of just having one crossing guards, they want at least two crossing guard at every station. After the crossing agent that got killed in October, so
Mhm.
this is a new initiative pushing and hiring more crossing guards for safety of our children as they go to and from school, which is awesome.
Yes, definitely.
Awesome, awesome, awesome stuff happening. So kudos to I would say, yeah, for adding more to the safety of our young folks. Another great thing happening. I am so excited that Biden decided he will be doing something about the influx of people crossing the border illegally. It's
What do
about
you? Could you elaborate on that, Dr. Brian, please?
Absolutely. So our president is debating whether to invoke a sweeping presidential authority that will help with the crackdown of migrant coming across the U.S. southern border. It's out of control. You know what? Maybe we should limit the amount of people coming in. I'm not going to wait on our individuals to make a decision. Maybe I need to take some action on my own. So he's citing a law dating back to 1952 to severely restrict access to U.S. asylum system, which has buckled under the weight of the record level of migrant arriving along the borders of Mexico.
So, Doc, a lot of people are going to say, "What took him so long?"
Of course, they're going to say that. I think the closer we get to the election, the more um, he's going to do something about it because he's going to get hit for not doing anything. Here it is. They propose several different um, options to the Republicans to, hey, let's work collaboratively together. And they rejected everything. So, okay, if you're rejecting everything, we're trying to find a solution to the problem. We're rejecting everything, then maybe I need to make a decision on my own to say, okay, you know what? Enough is enough. We try to, be fair in listening to your opinion, bringing something to the table, but you just want to hold out at the interest of someone else trying to run for office. It's about time. It is about time.
Yeah, it's about time, but he could have done that, what, 2 years ago, 3 years ago? And that's the whole point. That's the pushback going to be,
Mhm.
and that fits into the narrative of those who don't want to support Biden
Mhm.
and the Republican, the GOP. Meaning
Mhm.
they're going to say, you know what? Why did you remove those Trump? You eliminated those Trump executive orders that dealt with certain aspect of this whole border crisis. So, better late than never. But yeah, it's all because of this campaign season. That's why he's doing that. It should have been done a lot earlier because the cities are suffering. Those sanctuary cities are really suffering now. They're being inundated with the migrants. And, a lot of people in our communities, they think, the migrants are getting all this, and all that. My whole point was, you know, why are you concerned about them when you have all the opportunity to take advantage of what you have here. You always look at what other persons have. Look what you have, but look at the opportunity that you had to get all that is offered here. You know, we are the biggest complainers around. We complain about everything,
That's
and we
true.
do nothing.
That is true. We do complain. There's a lot that we have. If we take time out to focus on what we have, other countries don't have. And advantages, a lot of advantage from schooling, from education, having free education, to having opportunities to worship without being prosecuted or affected by being able to speak out
Right.
and be attacked or put in jail. And deciding we have certain freedoms as people living in the United States that others wish they had. We take it for granted, but it is a blessing in the sky. Because if you go to other parts of the world, they don't have the opportunities that we have. Sports, to school, to
Well,
transportation.
Doc, you know what? Not even to even think about that. Just think about your own country, from where you come from,
Mhm.
Haiti. Look what's going on in Haiti.
Mhm.
And just the unstable government has led to chaos and to chaos in Haiti.
Mhm. That is true. That is true. So that instability from having your president assassinated,
Hmm.
and then never, I don't know, not being able to put something in place. Like I remember when Kennedy was assassinated, there was an order, hey, you know what? Yes, he was assassinated, but there was protection as well. And
Right,
there
right.
was someone who could step in and
Hmm.
continue that race of
Hmm.
work
Hmm.
and continue to, the United States didn't crumble
Right.
after. Life kept moving.
Hmm. Hmm.
Unfortunately, it's not the same in other
Right.
countries. Yeah, it is something. It is truly something. So, yes, thank you, Empress. We really complain a lot. I told my son that today. Be grateful for what we have. Yeah, being grateful. And that's why migrants are running to the United States for the freedom that we have.
Exactly. That's 100%. Now
So,
we realize the freedom that we have when somebody else comes across and they take advantage of something that we don't take advantage of. You know?
that's true. That is true. And another thing that people complain that sometimes, hey, you know what? They're taking all the jobs. No, there's a lot of jobs here that people don't want to do. That if you come and you want to feed your children, feed your family, do what you have to do, guess what? It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. You can.
It
You
really
can.
doesn't. So that's that. That is true. Our guest is here. So I think we're gonna bring him on a
Bring
little.
them on. Bring them on.
So he has hello, 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 Mr. Jerry. How are you? And thank you for joining us this evening. This is Mr. Jerry, who is affiliated with the Bonnie Youth. Roderick, number one, is a number one fan for the Bonnie Youth. So thank you for joining us this evening.
Yes, thank you very much for inviting me. I'm glad to see that we're making this an annual affair,
Yeah.
almost the official sign of spring coming.
Yes, 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 Jerry.
Because if spring comes, then it's time for another Bonnie baseball season.
Yes. Can you share with our listeners a little bit more on who you are and just give us a little background?
Sure. Okay, so and first and foremost, we are celebrating our 75th anniversary season.
Wow.
The organization was originally founded back in 1949 by Al Bonnie Sr. and his two sons, Al Jr. and Joe. Mr. Bonney was a businessman in Flatbush. He had a moving and storage business on Church Avenue and New York Avenue. And he decided that he wanted to do something to give back to the community.
Mhm.
And what he decided to do was to start a baseball program. We started with one team back in 1949, a college-age team. And since then, over the last 75 years, we've grown to 300 players, 13 teams ranging in age from 4 all the ways up through college age. And while our primary activity has always been baseball, we really view our mission as being much broader than just baseball. We really view our mission as using baseball and using sports to produce productive citizens of the community. And our approach is to take players into the organization at a young age and over a period of years, not only develop their baseball skills, but their sense of sportsmanship and fair play, help them in terms of a high school and college, in terms of their academics and athletics, and see them graduate from college and become solid citizens of the community. And we've currently have about 50 players attending college, about half of them on academic and athletic scholarships. And we've graduated about 150 players from college over the last 15 years. And many of them have gone on to become doctors and lawyers and teachers and policemen, engineers, firemen, as well as professional baseball players. Many of them have reached national prominence. Mark Tatum, who started with us as a 10-year-old, is currently the deputy commissioner of the National Basketball Association. C.B. Buckner is just starting his 25th year as a major league umpire. Jared Banner is the vice president of player development for the Chicago Cubs. And Eric Delon, previously a city councilman and now is the state assemblyman, played with us as well. So we're really proud of all the players that have come through the organization and gone on to bigger and better things. And we're also proud of the fact that many of them have come back to the organization as managers and coaches. Matter of fact, Kevin Rice, who I was hoping was going to join us tonight, he's our president. And Kevin started with us as a player at the age of 11 back in 1977.
Wow.
And has been with us ever since, as a player, as a manager, as a coach, as assistant athletic director, a member of our board of directors, and now as the president of the organization.
Wow. That's something. Coming back and giving back. That's truly a legacy. And to start children off with discipline, because you have to be very disciplined to get your work done, to continue to practice, to show up, never giving up, and just being consistent. That's awesome.
And ours is a very extensive program. We start indoors in January. We've been practicing since the second week in January indoors. We stay indoors to the beginning of March. And then we go outdoors and start our season around the second week in April. Mm-hmm. And then we break the season up into 3 pieces. There's a spring, summer, and fall. And we really don't finish until the cold weather and the snow arrive back in November. So it's really a very extensive and intensive program that's really focused on, again, helping our players not only on the baseball side, their academic side as well, and really see them develop into serious high school and college players.
That's incredible. So when they're
Jerry,
Go ahead, John.
Jerry, a lot of your funding comes from just from any city or state or federal funding, or it's just community funding, or it's just parents,
right?
Private funds or whatever it is.
Yeah, so it comes from really a variety of places. We are a 501c3 charitable organization. We do raise all of our own funds, okay, and some of it comes through membership donations from the players and parents, but over half the money comes from money that we raise ourselves. We get discretionary funding from the New York City Council. Farrah Lewis and Rita Joseph and Sandy Nurse and Borough President Antonio Reynoso have all given us discretionary funding over the last number of years. We get some grants from organizations. We have one organization, an organization called Pranon Foundation, which is in Georgia. The CEO of the organization is a former player of ours, and we've gotten a grant from them over the last few years. And just recently, we got a grant from Emmanuel Baptist Church, which is around somewhere around where Bishop Lachlan is, and they've given us some money. And then we get a tremendous outreach from our alumni. Okay, obviously, with us being in existence for 75 years, many players have come through the organization, and many of them have given back and donated generously to keep our program going.
That's awesome. So the summer's coming up. A couple of the children, how do children sign up, or how do parents get involved? Or, hey, you know what, my child might not understand baseball, but I really want them to. How would you go about in doing that?
Okay, so first of all, one of our major themes is that we start players at an age where they really do not have to have any previous baseball experience. Okay, we start at age 4. We even have a few 3-year-olds. And the goal is really to not only teach them the game and develop their skills, but really to cultivate their interest in the game, because that's really what's most important. So what we try to do at the youngest age is really cultivate their interest in the game, so that as they get older, they'll continue to play. Okay, so we do as part of our indoor workouts, we do accept new players. Okay, we work out at Erasmus High School on Sundays. We have 2 gyms at Erasmus, and all of our teams of all ages practice there, as well as we also use Cristo Rey High School to do our batting. So we have a full-time program indoors on the months of January and February before we go outside. So anyone who's interested in signing up can come down to Erasmus on a Sunday. We're there from 8:30 in the morning to 6:30 at night. And obviously there are different age groups at different hours, but anyone who comes down, we can get them involved. And we're very active right now, very aggressive in trying to find new players. Okay, because that's really the lifeline of the organization, is to get players into the organization at a young age and develop their skills over a period of years and see them go on to be, highly competitive high school and college players.
So Jerry, how's the turnout? How is the turnout of just kids getting participating? Is it
it's kind of a mixed? One of the things you find with baseball is that when it's cold outside and the snow's on the ground, there isn't always a lot of interest. But as the weather gets warmer and we move outdoors, you tend to see more players, participating. But certainly it's become, with all the different activities that are available to the kids in the New York area, it's only becoming more and more difficult to attract, new players. One of the things we're trying to do is get into the schools, particularly the pre-K schools and kindergarten, in particular, those ages, and see if we can run a clinic in the school, a free clinic, and then do a sign up to try to get the players, involved.
What would you say to moms? Because I know, being a mom or whatever, about safety of baseball. Those who
I think baseball is I mean, when you compare it to some of the other sports,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think is a relatively safe, sport.
Right.
Now, obviously, we take care, particularly with the youngest kids, we take care to start them off slowly. They don't start off with, the real hard baseball. We use cloth balls, to get them, wiffle balls,
Mhm.
to get them started. And, we don't really move on to really using real baseballs, which obviously can hurt if you get hit with them,
Mhm.
until we really feel that they're able to handle themselves. And so we're really very conscious of safety. All of our coaches and managers are well trained, and we keep a good eye on all the players.
Because that could be something, but it also, with baseball, as you were speaking, I thought of how important it is with the hand and eye coordination for the younger players, just being able to coordinate and the movement. So some children who might have difficulties with that, playing baseball might be a way to actually help with some disabilities or areas to strengthen those areas.
Yeah, and the other thing is that baseball is very similar to swimming. One of the things they say about swimming is that if you learn how to swim when you're very young, it's usually pretty easy to become a swimmer. And the same thing is true with baseball. If you start playing when you're 4 or 5 years old, it becomes a more natural action. Okay, whereas if a kid comes down for the first time when he's 9 or 10, it's very hard to get them to coordinate and handle themselves, correctly. So we really encourage the players to come down, when they're, 4 or 5 years old, when it's a lot easier to get them to learn the mechanics to play.
But Joe, you don't have to. I guess because the Bonnies have been around such a long period of time, they're well known throughout, New York City and throughout New York State. But what's interesting is what is the level of involvement from the parents in the organization, so we can, it can keep going into perpetuity.
Sure. Well, I mean, again, one of the things that we rely on, one of the things that distinguishes us from some of the other organizations, a lot of the organizations are very parent-based, I mean, in terms of their coaching. Okay. Whereas our approach is more to bring back players that came through the organization to coach. So about half of our coaches, managers and coaches are players that came up through the organization, grew up in the Bonnie tradition, and are there to then pass it on to the next, generation of players. And we do obviously have some parent coaches, particularly in the younger ages, but we really rely more on players that have been in the organization, played in the organization, gone off to college, potentially played at the college level, and have now come back to give to the next generation.
Each one teach one. I love it.
Yeah, so that helps. That helps really tremendously. Yeah,
that's awesome.
Now that being said, I mean, we're always looking to recruit new coaches and managers as well as new players. I mean, it's really hard to find people that are willing to give the time that's required to run a program such as ours.
Would you hire Roderick? Would you hire him as one of your trainers? Because I know he loves.
Well, he's kind of self-appointed himself.
Yeah, that is.
You know what? That figures. That figures. That figures.
Yes, we've had a lot of experience with Roderick.
Oh yeah, I can imagine. How about travel? How often do you guys travel? Do you travel often?
Well, we travel. We do travel quite a bit. When we were really getting started, particularly let's say 25 years ago, we were one of the only organizations that traveled.
Oh wow!
Okay, pretty much everyone else was pretty much always local. But what's happened now over the last 25 years is this concept of showcase tournaments has come into being,
Right.
where everybody wants to go to tournaments.
Right.
And the parents, kind of think that by going to these tournaments, their sons or daughters are, one step away from the Yankees or the Mets. What we try to do is
hey, Jerry, I was in a
more
good
evenly
mood.
balanced program.
I was in a good mood till you mentioned the Mets, man. Come on. I've been a long-suffering Mets fan, boy. It don't look like it's going to get any better either, but go ahead.
Well, you never know. Maybe it'll surprise us. But what we try to do is really balance playing locally. And locally means because there's not that many organizations like ours in Brooklyn at this point. 25 years ago, there were 15 organizations pretty similar to us. But now they've pretty much all disappeared. So in order even to play locally, we have to play in Queens, play in the Bronx, play in Staten Island.
Mhm.
So we do play all over the New York area.
Gil
In
Hodges
addition
is
to
no
that, we
more?
do travel to other states and other tournaments. Altogether, we've probably played in about 20 different states.
Okay.
Over the years. We've played obviously in all the states in the New York area and the Northeast, but we've also played in Florida, we've played in Georgia, we've played in Texas, we've played in Colorado, we've played in New Mexico. So we have traveled around a bit too.
Not bad. Not bad. How about scholarships?
Right. So as I said, baseball is a little different than some of the other sports because the big money sports like basketball and football, for instance, there's a lot of scholarship money available. In baseball, a college baseball team, even a Division I team, only has 11.7 scholarships that they can give out across the entire team.
Wow.
So what they try to do is get the players that they're interested in as much money as they can through other sources, either through need or through their academics or something of that sort, and then use the baseball scholarships to fill the gap.
Gotcha.
Right? And, our players certainly have gotten their share of scholarships. We have a number of players who have, pretty much gone through college, with money that they got from the schools, and then, gone on to bigger and better things from there.
I see. Okay. So now, for example, I might have a little person who their parents want them to get involved. Why? Why is it important for the children to get involved now?
Yeah, well, again, I think there's really a few reasons. From a baseball perspective, as I mentioned earlier, it's much easier to have a player learn the game when they're younger than it is once they get older. So that's number one. But more importantly than that is that one of the things about baseball, and I think it's true of sports in general, but particularly about baseball, is you learn a lot of life's lessons by playing a sport like baseball.
True.
You don't always succeed. There's adversity. Like a lot of managers like to point out that, if you succeed 3 out of 10 times at the plate, batting 300, that's considered a success. So you failed 7 times to get a hit. You got to hit 3 times, and that's considered to be a successful performance. So there's a lot of adversity that you face. There's also a lot of teamwork. You learn a lot about interacting with other players and other kids, and adjusting to different coaches, because each coach is different. So there's a lot of lessons to be learned through baseball and through sports that help you later in life when you go out there in that real world and have to succeed.
So true. How can a parent get involved? I know you mentioned Erasmus, but hey, if they wanted to actually sign up their children, what's the first thing they need to do?
Yeah, so the first thing, they can go up on our website, which is bonnieyouth.org, and there is flyers and information up there about signing up. And all they have to do is contact us, and we'll let them know, when to bring their child down, depending on the child's age, and when that age is practicing. But as I said, we really are looking for players, particularly at the youngest age. Our youngest group is called the Instructional League. So it's a developmental program for players who really potentially have never played before. So it starts at age 4 and goes up to age 6. So it's really the starting point. And we're really working hard to get more players involved at that age, because those are the players that we hope to be the future players on our older teams, as they get older.
Create that farm system, huh, Jerry? Create that
That's
farm
right.
system.
It's one of the things we're very proud of is that we return about 85% of our players from one year to the next. So
That's
we
big.
really pride ourselves on continuity, and really pride ourselves on, we've had players that have come in at the age of 4, have played up through college, graduated from college, and in some cases even come back to coach the next generation. So that's a real, those are the real success stories,
Absolutely. Just keep Roderick away from the 4 to 6 years. I don't know if he has that patience to
his sons have gotten a little older now, so he's more focused on the 9s and 10s, 11s and 12s.
Yeah, thank God for that, because the 4 to 6, they might not return if you have that man in that vicinity with them. So we thank you. We thank you so much. First of all, we thank you for your commitment to continuing to instruct, to pour in, and to educate through sports our young folks, and creating a legacy of winners. So
Thank you very much.
Be a hero in our eyes. So thank you, Bonnies, for staying alive, for keep going, and to continue the legacy, so that the next generation could continue on building that generation of young baseball players.
Thank you very much.
Jerry,
If any parents do have players, no matter how young they are, that are interested in getting started, we love to have them on board.
Hey, Jerry, one thing I say is just I commend you for all the work you have done and the commitment, your dedication. I remember many years when I used to coach down there at the Brooklyn Skyhawks, the parade grounds. Your guys would be out there, even when it was cold, when we were practicing out there, when it was very cold, you would have your players out there practicing. So, kudos to you. Also, kudos to Mr. Harris. May he rest in peace for starting that whole Brooklyn Skyhawk organization.
Yes. Yeah, they go back a long time as well.
Yes.
So we thank you. And you know what? This is the season to sign the children up.
Absolutely.
This is the beginning of amazing things that's going to happen in their life in regards to sports. So thank you for joining us this evening. And if players, if parents, please, bonnieyouth.org. Is that correct?
That's correct, yes.
bonnieyouth.org. Please join us, join them, and hopefully Roderick will be have us, the village crew, come and support you all one of these afternoons. So we'll see you soon.
All right, thanks a lot, and
Thanks, Jerry.
hopefully same time next year.
Bless. Thank you.
Absolutely. Take care.
All right, take care.
Bye-bye.
We'll see you.
It's that time of season. You got pitchers and catchers. They came down, they started up. Baseball, another month and a half. Baseball season's here.
You know, football season is also up here as well. Some of the football players started training. So one of these days we'll have one of the coaches come on and speak to the parents about what's happening in the
Yeah,
sport.
I think it's an overall good idea, getting our young people involved in sports. And it seems like sports is always it's amazing. We can be polarized, but when it comes to sports, all that polarization ceased to exist. Yeah.
Yeah. And to top it off, it keeps the kids out of trouble.
hmm
It really do.
hmm
Use your skills in a productive way, in a safe, productive way.
hmm
So that's so important. So important. So if we have more players, then we have less negative activities happening on the streets.
Amen.
So
Amen to that.
yeah. So
Amen to that.
we're grateful for that. I know that one of the Uber drivers were just last night was attacked. 61-year-old gentleman got attacked by a group of young people
hmm
on Schenectady and St. John's Place. Actually, it wasn't yesterday, it was 10:45 Sunday evening. So 5 passengers suddenly attacked, punching in the head and face. Listen, all that energy could be used towards sports instead of doing things negatively. So it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. It is truly, truly unfortunate.
Yeah, it is, Doc. It's always, but we talk about it all the time. And the senseless acts by people in the subway throughout the city.
Wait, what about the crime that happened at Gucci this week?
That was right in the middle of the day. Right, not even the middle of the day. That was right there in the morning.
12, yeah, I think 11,
In the
12.
morning. In the morning. People are so brazen, but you know what they feel, you have cameras everywhere, so they got a good picture of the culprits. So they'll be catching them sooner or later. You think you got away? No, not at all.
They ran to Jersey.
Yeah.
But that's something. Nowadays, there's a lack of fear. Completely. We've been saying that for a while. A lot of people who want to be criminals, I keep saying it. If they want to fight, they want to attack, they want to do certain crimes. Hey, why don't you go out to war? That's the perfect way. Hey, you want to shoot up, you want to do things, volunteer to go out to war, and you could do all that. Serving the right way.
You mean serve the military? That's not happening, Doc. They're too afraid. They're too afraid.
I think that's they might want to consider, hey, you know what? You committed
To
a
be
crime.
plopped to be plopped in the middle of nowhere.
Seriously. I think that's a great way to actually cut down the system of people going into the jail system and then sending them, hey, you want to attack, you want to shoot, you want to do it that way.
They wouldn't do it, Doc.
Why not?
They would not do it.
I think it's a great compromise. I'm serious. Why not?
They will not do it.
Who will not?
They love themselves too much and they're afraid. Bottom line is they're afraid.
They're not afraid to kill other people. They're not afraid to attack other people, but they're afraid to go out to war.
They're afraid to go out to war because then then there's the realization of their own mortality. They're gonna realize you can shoot, but somebody's gonna shoot right back at you.
Hey, that's the best way. The best way.
And this week, what's interesting is you see all the traffic has been it's been moving pretty good because this is the week that the kids are off. This is I think the winter recess.
Yes, Jesus.
A week and I think the recess is too long.
What?
I think it's too long.
Can you repeat that again?
I said that winter recess is too long.
Why? Why do you think that? Why do you believe
You
that?
know, when I went to school, we did not have a winter recess.
Oh, please. You surely did.
I didn't have no winter recess. We had Easter. We never had a week off we went straight through. Only time it had to actually snow for it to be a snow day and to be off.
Well, guess what? There was no snow day. They eliminated snow days, so now they made remote days. So tough. We don't have as much snow anymore as they used to. So all those wonderful snow days that you all used to be out skiing, doing all these wonderful things, once COVID happened, that's out the window. So
COVID put a monkey wrench in a lot of things, you know.
yeah.
A
So
lot of
you know
things.
what? And you're being a hater by saying that winter recess is I'm serious. You are being a hater. I think you actually gain a lot of enemies from the education fields by saying something like that. That's like a curse. During that time,
And
let me tell you, nowadays you need a break in between. Seriously, people mind needs to just shut down, shut off, and that's it. So by going and going and going and going, I don't know. It won't be that successful, my friend. It will not.
I don't know about that, Doc. You know, I don't know about that, Doc.
Just because you didn't have, don't mean that you have to hate others. Uh-uh.
Oh man, but yeah, hey, I love it. Traffic has been smooth, so you know, hey,
It has been from New York City to upstate New York to all over. I'm like, man, traffic is incredible. So that I can say, I won't complain. I will not complain at all. So
I'm
what
quite
else
sure.
is happening?
I'm quite sure you won't complain.
Oh no. What else is happening?
Well, I mean, you know about the situation with Navalny, you know, and with him passing away a couple of days ago. Uh, you know, it's just amazing how there is so much pushback on US's support. You know, it's just unbelievable about the importance of Ukraine and making sure they have the necessary equipment to really push back.
Well, there's something that the president of Ukraine mentioned. He mentioned last week that, hey, if they lose the war is because of the United States. Not the exact words, but about not having enough ammunition and supplies or whatever. The war in Ukraine, between Russia and Ukraine, shouldn't solely be the responsibility of the United States for supplying all the weapons. That's a problem. John, are you frozen? I think you are. So, I don't know. I think if you're going to go to war, you need to not depend on just one place for supplying all your everything. You need to be able to be independent and do that. Andre,
Hi.
what are you laughing at?
Just coming back. Just coming back in.
I see.
What were you talking about? What were you about to say just now?
What are your thoughts? I think my thing. Da, 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 da. What just happened? I'm frozen. Frozen. All right. Either I'm frozen. All right. Both of my partners in crime are frozen. Either I'm frozen or they're frozen. We'll figure it out somehow. Now Andre gets on and but it's all good. Our listeners. Thank you for coming back.
Wi-Fi.
Yeah, Andre came on and he's frozen as well. So I mentioned that the whole war should not be on the back of the United States. What are your thoughts about that?
Um. I think Ukraine is a strategic country that we need to have in our column, as opposed to allow them to be taken over by Russia, because that will not stop Putin from advancing and thinking that he can take over other countries. What's interesting in this whole thing is that United States is, I can't say members of Congress, their reluctance to provide Ukraine the support that is necessary. And
Why?
why? We need to keep Ukraine. We need to keep Russia. We cannot let Russia continually to advance.
So, one of a young lady was taken in this, I think either yesterday or today. She's Russian, but she's also American.
Mhm.
And now the problem is they blamed her. They're holding her hostage
Right,
because they said that she donated $51 towards Ukraine, helping and supporting Ukraine.
right.
So do you think that Biden will be negotiating for this Russian American individual the same as he did for the asking for a plate?
What do you mean? Advocating for the person to come home?
Yes, for them to release her.
I'm quite sure he will be advocating for it. I mean, most people, American citizens who are imprisoned illegally in Russia, he has been trying to ask for, either there's a prisoner swapped or whatever it is, but you know, yeah, has been instrumental in trying to get people back from that country. Yeah.
So that means we're going to be more and more involved in Russia. More and
Why
more.
not, Doc? So you feel they should just stay over there, and then we should just mind our own business? Is that what you're saying?
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. I think that every time they actually hold one of the American citizen or whatever, it's a way to pull the United States into the war. That's what I'm saying.
I don't think the United States is going to get into the war. We're just going to be help. We're going to continue to help Ukraine. Well, I don't know about that now.
Okay. I was gonna say something, but it might be controversial, so I'm gonna.
What are you scared of saying anything controversial,
Nope,
Doctor?
no.
Say what you gotta say. Say what you gotta say.
So you both decide to freeze up at the same time.
No, my
And
computer died. Like my computer died too. That's why.
I
Game
thought I was
on.
frozen, and I'm like, wait a minute, it's not me, it's them. Oh,
Yeah.
that's funny.
Wait, what were you gonna say though?
So here it is. John, you mentioned that Russia taking over Ukraine would not be beneficial at all.
Mhm.
Now, what about Israel that is moving into territories that was not involved in the war, that they're still in search of some of the hostages?
But I would definitely be in search of my hostages. Second of all, I would eradicate Hamas. If I
By
was
going to
Israel,
different territories?
I would go into the territories until I find those members of Hamas. Yes.
So even if it's not part of an area that was slated and Hamas is not there, what do you say to the dead folks or their family? Nothing?
What I would say to those people who have passed, meaning let you know that your lives were not taken in vain. I will continue to fight until I eradicate Hamas, so no one else has to endure what you have endured.
I don't know. I think they're I don't know. Okay. It's just, I know we're looking for Hamas. They're looking, not we, because I'm not part of that war. But it needs to be pinpoint exactly where they are so that more lives on both sides are not affected. That's just my thought. Because in war, no one wins.
You know what? In war, no one wins, but we prevent the obliteration of the freedom of those who had the temerity to stand up and fight a dictator.
But then
You're frozen, Andre. Oh, you're not frozen?
But those who actually were casualties of wars increase a whole lot.
Yes, I agree. Andre, you thought?
Just war. I mean, war happens so many times and it's very frustrating, but it's, when you look at the political aspect of it, it's money, right? Money is in war. So if time of war goes off, someone in power making money. We look at the people who supply the weapons. You look at the companies, once the war happened, it's a money thing, really. And how do we end wars? I don't know. I think the politicians have to really come to terms and really decide that they're not gonna really be doing that. But would they, if they have money to lose? No.
I think I think most politicians they don't really want our country to engage in war, because that means their constituents, and could be their sons and daughters, and their relatives are being going to fight. But I think I think us, we don't need to engage in that war, but we need to help Ukraine push against the Russia advancement.
And I don't disagree, though it seems like stuff like that always happen with some stipulation. If I help you, if I give you money, just know that you're gonna owe us years later. And if you are not able,
Andre, what's wrong with that? If I help you, I'm going to look for your help.
I don't have an issue with that itself. Like, if I help you, hope you can help me later on. Though in terms of how countries have even what's the word I'm looking for? Get the short end of the stick. Maybe is like infrastructure, helping with your infrastructure, and put certain countries in debt because they might not be able to pay back, right? Though they owe a larger country some sort of IOU because the larger country helped them out in a fight.
That's why, and you talk about, that's why Trump was saying those NATO countries need to pay their fair share instead of US always having to foot the bill, which I would agree with him on that. I would definitely agree with him on that.
So why is it
we can't foot the bill all the time?
So I guess why is it that they don't pay their fair share? Is it that they don't have the money? Is that they're worried about the consequences, whether positive or negative, later on. Like, well, why? I don't know why is it that they don't pay their fair share? Because the U.S. seems to always be involved in these things. And hey, you know, I think the U.S. being involved in a lot of these international affairs benefits us, right? So I'm grateful to be in a country like the U.S. wherein there's a lot of benefits that I get, but at the expense of who, right? Like,
True.
I don't, you know, to see wars, to see the bombings, all these things happen. And I'm here, you know, I'm sitting down here and I can talk about this. It's a privilege, right? You feel saddened about those in other countries who constantly have to be worried about, you know, some next bomb dropping on their home or when they're gonna be rescued, you know, and it just makes me wonder a lot about, you know, what, like the question that we just asked, you know, why is it that the other countries are not helping, or why is it the US always feel a need to go there? And I was talking to something about similar the other day with Joanne, is that we are as a country worried about those in other countries. It's good to be a good Samaritan, good to help, but what about the people in your own backyard, right? What about the people in your own backyard who's struggling, who on the streets, need food, all these things? And so in a sense, it goes back to that, like, yeah, I can help my people, but I'm already taking from them, you know, in a way, right? The other people, them in the other country, if I help them, then whatever resources that their country might have, I know I can get. And if not, there's consequences, right? And I'm the biggest dog on the block. So I'm gonna make my play.
But
So
then you become a target too. Being the biggest dog, you become a target where others want to attack you at all costs to see you go down.
And now you have to try and defend yourself. And now you gotta defend yourself. Now you gotta defend yourself, right?
If you spread yourself too thin, then, you know, are you always prepared?
Right.
That's the thing. Like, look at today, with the AT&T outage, we're always on edge that people are like, okay, is it an attack by this country? Is it an attack by that country? You know, when you are at war, you're constantly on edge. And that's what we are, constantly on edge. You're in the train, something goes derail, you're like, oh my God, did somebody do something? So we are always in a state of fear.
It shouldn't be a state of fear. We should be in a state of readiness all the time.
I don't
we need
know
to be
if we're
ready.
I don't know if we're ready. I think it's fear because you don't know the unexpected, because you know you're involved in two different wars. So, you know, you're on edge. Half of these people who are road rage and everything, they're on edge driving. Now you add war to it, then election to it. It's a lot of things. We are a country on edge. That's a problem. And the lifeline, the phone, if the phone goes off or the system goes off, you think,
Lord. Oh gosh, forget it. You're right.
At the same time, don't forget we're still privileged, right? Because
we are privileged, but we also have to be mindful that anything can happen at any point.
The edge that we are on, right? And I don't know what other people are like, but again, you know, seeing readings, history, all these things, it pales in comparison to what so many other people across the world facing, right?
Listen.
And so I'm not belittling our experiences, all right? It just go back to what you said, being aware, being considerate. And we're the people, we're the civilians, we're the pawns, you know, in the chessboard. All right. You know, they got the king and the queen, who somehow we're protecting them without realizing it as we're in the front. When our pockets being hurt, whatever it is, you know. So the solution is always regarding the leaders. So I was I'm thinking about this.
You said regarding leaders?
The solution it seems to always dependent on the leaders, which I mean, who else? What are we able to do? We can do a little of what we can do in our community, go on and help like residents, doing little community building, fundraising, all those small things, which is good. But on a larger scale, worrying about some other country coming and hurting this entire country itself. So
we also got to think of New York City, for example, with this political climate coming up. God forbid Trump get into office, New York City is going to be attacked, period. Overall, he's going to take out his fury out on New York City because he's not going to be able to do business for 2 years, 3 years. So the man is angry. So, I'm on edge living in New York City. Like, what? New York, not only New York City, New York State, period. Just New York.
Right.
So not only do we have to worry about other countries, we have to worry about who's going to be in office and how will that affect us as a state.
Yeah, but we talk that foolishness. We don't want to get out there and vote. Oh, Biden ain't do nothing for us. Oh, Trump did everything for us. Wait and see.
Because that man is ready. My God, he is ready. So I don't know.
As they say, Trump's gonna be. That's the big payback.
Yeah, he's gonna come. He's gonna and so watch now, right? It's as if to, how do I put this? It's not a whole parenting like that, right? But him coming on, look at those media gonna be jumping ratings and look at that.
But right? he's gonna go after the first is Letitia James, because she vows to seize properties,
and that's going to be turn that down. That's going to be big media, right? Because now it's gonna be CNN, Fox, all of them gonna have it because everybody experienced from 2016 when he was in office, 4 years later, and so on.
That's when CNN had great ratings.
And I'm telling you, the ratings went down since he stepped out.
Oh, yeah, of course, definitely.
So it's like there's an expectation.
But I enjoy Trump because he was able to dictate. He was able to dictate.
Yes, Trump lover. Dictate what?
It's not being a Trump lover, but it's the press. The press thinks they are so strong enough that they can create the agenda. But it was Trump who kept them off balancing and attacked them. We came up with fake news. We came up with all these other things, and made these print.
Excuse me.
Print media, television media, more accountable.
Really? I don't see that. I think they were reckless with their mouth. They were reckless in promoting things that they knew were not true. That's why some of them had to pay back. The propaganda with, hey, Biden stole the election or whatever. They know it was false.
Wait, what do you mean made them accountable, John? What do you mean?
You mean Dr. Bryant?
Oh, was Dr. Bryant that said that made them accountable?
Yeah.
So here it is.
What do you mean, Joanne? Like he made the media accountable? What do you mean?
No, John said that. I said they have to be careful what.
What I'm saying is he made the okay. Let me get to it. What he made the media do, because the media could no longer set the agenda. The media would always set the agenda for the elected officials because they knew that they can rule. You cannot beat a newspaper that buys ink by the gallons. But he turned the tables on all of them.
Got you.
He
Yeah.
turned the tables on all of the media.
They couldn't see it coming. they didn't know what hit them. And I think it's going to, they're preparing. I think they're preparing for what's about to take. The way I would look, I would not necessarily be surprised to not see Trump on the debate stage, but at the same, I think he's gonna be on there, right? And he's gonna bring some heat, and they're gonna eat that up. Media is gonna eat it up. Ratings is gonna go up. The people are gonna be in front of the screen for the drama, right? Those who heavy in politics are gonna be on there. Reviews, recaps, all that gonna happen.
Yeah.
Right. And you know what that makes me think of as well is going back to that guest. And I keep referring to the guest, your friend John Robert, I believe. Right.
Yeah.
He talk about it. He's like, this is what the media does. It is 3 levels, put certain things in front of the people's face and let them argue about that while something else is happening behind closed doors. And so
right.
I think as critical thinkers and people who engage in the news heavily, gotta be mindful. Look for the misdirections, redirections, all those things, and focus on what's really important, really, right? You have to really recognize the lies, whatever lies that might be told, cross-reference, whatever is possible that you can do. All right.
But Andre, that's too much work, because people will take what they hear and believe it because it fits their narrative. And they don't want to hear a different narrative.
And that's an issue, really. It becoming too much work. That's not doing your due diligence. All right. And I think to continue to always depend on, well, those in power, or depend on the information to be given to you, you are not doing your due diligence, right? I think it's important to have it and check it, right? Because the news always trick you. Like even some of what we say, how many of our viewers, and I appreciate the viewers, right? I appreciate the people who tune in and thing, really, all right? But I definitely think that it's important that even some of what we say here, go research. It's similar to what a lot of people who would talk about finance would do. And they say, hey, go do your due diligence. Don't just take what I say. Somebody will say, hey, go jump in that stock because that stock is running up. You'll be like, hey, that person said it, so I'm going to jump in it. No, don't do that. Because then things go sideways and you run back and say that person cost you.
That's
right?
what Giuliani is crying. Him and a bunch of the other clowns that followed Trump all the way to the end. At the end, guess what?
Yeah,
he kept his head high, and they have to figure it out. Right. So that, and
it definitely goes.
Some of his other loyal believers to the end, they even created fundraisers for him. Hey, GoFundMe, to bail him out of that money that he owes.
Yeah.
So, sometimes you can believe in things, but you have to open up your eyes, and sometimes you have to make decisions that's right for you.
True.
Right. Ignorance is bliss, though, as you said, Joe.
Yeah, don't believe every lie. Don't believe every lie.
Don't believe Fox News.
There's one other thing that I saw also earlier was with FTX intending to pay back the customers. It was the trial aspects of the trial today, and they want to pay the customers the lost the money that they'll pay the customers money they lost in the exchange. It is an objective, really, not a guarantee.
Right.
It's an objective, not a guarantee. They have about $6.4 billion in cash, but they have gotten about 36,000 claims, and that's equals $16 billion. So even saying that's what the lawyer was, and there's the intention of rebooting the exchange as a way to to get rid of the narrative that it was a sham created by a convicted felon. So I'm here looking at that, and I'm saying there's no way they're gonna call it FTX again. There's no way. They're probably gonna reboot it in some other name. And you have a lot of things that made a up comeback with different names. So folks who've been in crypto or whatever kind of derivatives investments, look out for those things, right? Again, do your due diligence, right? Do your due diligence.
Yeah, it's not the best, just because something sounds good don't mean it's good for you.
Right.
That's true.
Certainly. So I definitely think Jerry Katz coming on talking about the importance of sports, building mindset, building growth, and even itself really is so valuable. And I remember even doing track and field was such a great sport of discipline, learning, and just staying focused. So sports is always a valuable activity, good activity to get into. So thank you, Jerry Katz, for coming on, and of course a yearly affair, as he says.
Right. Before we leave, I need to give a shout out to, I'm going to tell them they need to do their job, which is the Office of Cannabis Management. They need to collect the fines, the $25 million fines, and maybe donate it to our the people who want to collect money for going into the city. Maybe contribute that money towards that, so that our people living in New York City don't have to pay no fee to travel to the other part of New York City.
You mean congestion pricing?
Yeah. They can take that cannabis money from all the illegal places and contribute it to the MTA for their whatever way. So no more fees for us. I'm behind. No congestion pricing, none of that. So take the weed money and send over there.
Hey, just a shout out to Paula. Paula, thanks for watching the show tonight. I know you watched it because we had Jerry on there from the Bonnies. Paula's son plays for the Bonnies there. So shout out to Paula and the family, the Dunbar family.
All right. And our fearless leader, we're sending you love,
prayers, everything,
kisses, and everything. So hopefully and prayerfully you feel better soon.
Expect to see you next week, Roderick.
So we could fight with you on air as we usually do. We love you, man.
Bless up. Have a good night.
All right.
Thank you to all our listeners for tuning in, for listening, for joining us, for just supporting us throughout this year. And just continue to do it. Go out there.
And in some of the words of Roderick, birthday shout out to everybody who we might have missed. I don't know them. Just sending the birthday shout out,
Birthday shout out, birthday, big birthday shout out.
Oh, so I guess, shout out my dad, my old man about to be 27 is his birthday. So there you go. That's the one birthday I remember in March.
In March?
Yeah.
That's next month in February.
Yeah. See, I'm already jumping the gun. See, that's why I don't even do it. Anyways, so thank you again, listeners, for joining. Remember, it's all about success, finance, empowerment. Take care of yourselves, do your due diligence, right? And be safe.
Be safe.
Thank you.
All right. Have a good night. Peace out.